Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I am joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today's topic, email best practices. So we're going to touch on that, what the best practices are and approaches. And well, let's kick this show off. And let's quickly go over the table of contents. Kind of a lengthy list because there's so much to consider. I know it's just an email, but still, there's going to be a few topics we're going to discuss today. And one of them is, should you purchase a list, right? Are you on a platform? What platform are you using? Or are you emailing from a Hotmail account or a Gmail? Thirst trap subject lines. Boy, that is a big factor in successful email campaigns. The body of the email, A and B testing your subject lines. Should you include images? Allowing recipients to subscribe to your newsletter, things like that. We're going to be talking about lots of topics today. So let's kick this show off. And the first one is, should you purchase a list? And it's going to be a big no for me. And I'll tell you why. Because in the world today, companies like MailChimp or platforms like MailChimp and Constant Contact and all these other platforms that allow you to upload an email list and create these email campaigns, they are going to be tracking how many emails are opened, how many email addresses unsubscribe, how many bounce, and how many opens, how many click-throughs. I mean, there's so many metrics that they're tracking that if you purchase a list and you start sending these individuals solicitations, they're going to either report you, unsubscribe, complain, and it's going to flag your account. So more than likely, I would not purchase a list. It's just not a great idea. There are services out there that provide you with their own list, and it's a service that They write the emails for you. Should you go that direction? Maybe. I, I haven't found somebody I'd like to work with, but we're in the early stages of vetting those type of organizations, and maybe we'll have somebody do a demo for us that provides us with a compelling message that we should use them. But as far as purchasing a list, no, I'm not going to purchase a list. It's just not a great idea. Now, there is a company I did start working with. It's Data Axle Genie. They're very reasonable. It's I believe $200 a month. And I was using it to make cold calls just so I can create videos for you guys and show you how much rejection I get. And this one company provides quality data. I was very surprised how accurate it was, and the information was up to date with executives, phone numbers, email addresses. So I didn't email anyone from the list. I just called them. So take that however you like. But back to the email strategy here and best practices. So, like I was saying, use a professional platform. Do not email them from your Gmail account or your work email. You want to, if you've compiled a list of email addresses from all the individuals you've met with, from all the prospecting you've done, and people that have asked you to stay in touch with them, you need, even if it's just 100 people, you should still use a service like HubSpot or Mailchimp. Mailchimp is very inexpensive, so I would say, I know HubSpot can be a bit pricey, so Mailchimp is going to be a very cost-effective solution. It's not expensive. But if you're like us, MSP Corner, well, we have Mailchimp in place, and we're sending out emails every week. And thank goodness we haven't been flagged, but we get plenty of opens because of the topics we're talking about, the education content we offer. On the single point of contact side, on the MSP side business, we have Market Builder by Enable. They have a remarkable platform that allows you to upload your list, and they provide you with all of the educational content you will ever need. It's incredible. I love it. It's easy to set up. It's the content's already written. You might have to make a few adjustments, but oh my God, it's beautiful. I love it. I would, if you're not an Enable partner, I suggest you get in touch with them because they have an ideal platform for MSPs who want to get information to their prospects. And if you're not great at writing content, they have it written for you. So, and it's, here's the best part, it's free. It's not, you have to pay anything. It comes with your subscription. So look into that. And I'm going to have the people from Enable on a webinar soon. We'll have them on a podcast. We'll be talking to them about their platform, their tech stack, and all the tools they have to offer. But their email platform, I just love it. I can't say enough good things about it. So next up is thirst trap subject lines. So look, guys, when you're sending an email to somebody, you don't want a boring subject line. IT services for small business. That is just so boring. You got to put something in there that's going to intrigue the recipient. So if you're going to send them some educational material, send them something about security, something about backup, and make that subject line sexy, make it attractive, make it something that they want to read. Okay, you're not going to get 100%. You just want something over 10% opens, so you have people that are show interest in what you're producing. Remember, this content has to be educational, and tie it in with that subject line. Email signature. I don't know how many emails I get from individuals and there is no signature. It's just an email address. I get it from Tom at xyzcorp.com. Okay, who are you? What's your position at the company? What's the name of your company? Where's your email? Where's your web address? Where are you located? Right? You need to include an email signature. Follow where's my how do I follow you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook? Where is your company information? The more legitimate you look, the more willing people are the more interest you will create, because people want to see professionalism. They want to see that you're legit, and your email signature will say a lot about who you are and what your company is about. Put a tagline on there, right? Your security, something around security, or your customer services number one objective for your organization, something that they will tie to your organization. So email signature, very important. Okay, here's a hot topic. Are you going to write long or short messages? So I'll keep it short. It's a short message because you have less than 5 seconds to build interest, to get them hooked on what you have to offer. It's even less than 5 seconds. You probably have like 2 to 3 seconds. So that first sentence, you better offer some value in what you have to offer. All right. Because organization, you're sending emails to CEOs, VPs, directors, and they want to see value in the organization, in what you have to offer. And do not make it service centric or product centric or company centric. And what I mean by that, do not talk about how great you are. Do not talk about how your product is so fantastic and sexy, right? You want to talk about immediately what problem you're going to solve, right? For them, right? If they're a medical office, well, security and compliance should be the very first few letters in that sentence, right? Because they probably have a lot of security concerns. They have compliance concerns. They have disaster recovery concerns. They have encryption concerns, right? So you want to send a message that is going to hit a nerve and will build interest. So keep it short and sweet. Okay. And how many sentences should you write? I wouldn't do any more than three. And maybe 2 or 3 bullet points. Maybe. Just depends. This is all about the content that you're writing, right? So keep that in mind. Long message. I don't know how many times I get an email and I swear it's like reading a novel. And I'm like, I'm not going to read this. The meat of their value is in the middle of that of these messages. And because I've read a few, just because I'm just looking at this going, okay, this is what I'm not going to do. But just for entertainment purposes, I read it and I look at it and I go, wow, they could have said the value proposition. They finally get to the value proposition at the end, or it's in the middle, and it's like, really? Why? It should be at the beginning. It should be at the front of your message, because they're either going to say yes or no. They're either going to delete it or respond, or if you're going to point them to a landing page or a download, they're going to go to it. So keep it short. Any messages? Any questions up to now, Greg? We're about halfway through. All right. No questions. So, like, I'm going to expand on that messaging and why it needs to be a message of value. You want to educate your audience. You want to keep them engaged with educational material. In today's world, we're so busy with our own lives and work that we want to get quality information that educates us. So, if you can get information that is relevant to their industry, it's educational, it's valuable, you need to stick to that format. You want to send them a download on a report of, oh, 5,000 hospitals downloaded ransomware in 2022. How can you prevent this from happening in the future? Okay,
Let
well, you have
let let me jump in there for a second too. My mute button was on.
it's
Um,
okay.
so this is how it works with your email bots. You can buy a list if you do, like, you didn't suggest buying a list, but you could. So you have a list of like maybe 5,000 email addresses. You jam it into your Mailchimp or your Market Builder or your spam. It's called a spam gun, basically. It goes out and a bunch of people report it as spam. What will happen is that your reputation score, you'll have a reputation score. Your reputation score will go down, and the lower it goes, the less that Mailchimp and these other providers are going to want to send out mail. So they're going to start restricting the amount you can send out every month because it's going to affect their IP address that they're sending the mail out from. So what they'll do is if you keep getting a lower and lower reputation, they're just going to keep lowering and lowering the amount of emails you could send until it's very small, maybe 100 or 50 a month. So you really have to get a list of emails that are reputable. Most likely, the best ones are what's called opt-in, people who've asked you to send them stuff or
Hmm.
acknowledge that you're going to send them stuff. But you start getting people reporting you as spam, and what's going to happen is your reputation will go down, and you're not going to be able to send out emails.
Now, is that reputation carried over from one platform to another? So let's say I'm on MailChimp and then MailChimp says, "Oh, you've got a terrible reputation. Can you just
No,
cancel?"
yeah, it's not carried over because it's associated with the IP, which means it's associated with Mailchimp. So Mailchimp tries
Got
to
it.
keep their emails as clean as possible. And what people can be doing is they'll try to buy IP addresses and that have good reputation, and they'll burn them both because they'll send out 10, 15, 20,000 spams a month from it. And then what will happen is it'll get such a low reputation score that it'll get flagged as a spam source, and people will auto start blocking it, and then they'll just move on to another IP address and do the same thing. So that's what spammers have done with a lot of these IP addresses. And then the IP address has to go through what's called a cooldown period, where it will cool down if you don't send mail from it over a next couple of months, and then it'll go back up and score. So yeah, it doesn't follow you.
Good. Well, that's good to know because yeah, I kind of assumed that, but hey, I don't know everything. All right. So as I was saying, is stick to a message of education. Executives love to be educated and they love to see reports. They like to see data metrics because if it's going to affect their business, they want to know what's out there. They don't know everything, right? They're trying to operate a business. They're trying to generate revenue. They're trying to keep their employees productive. So they're already inundated with their own work. So if you provide them with a quick 5 minute read on how to keep their employees security trained with security awareness with for phishing attacks and malware, yeah, they're probably going to read something like that. So keep that in mind. Now, should you include an image in the email body? Well, it's not recommended. At least I don't recommend it. I only speak by experience and I only speak by my behavior. And when I see an email that has an image in it, because Microsoft just immediately blocks the image from being downloaded, I know it's spam. I just know it's spam. I'm just like, why am I going to read this? It's the subject line is awful. This guy is soliciting me for business. I just delete it. I don't even read 90% of them. But the ones that send me emails and they have a short sentence and there's no images, 90% chance that I'm going to read that email, especially if it has a message of value. So keep that in mind. Don't add images. It's not recommended. At least if most people are like me and see an image, you just flag it. You already know that it's not going to be something that a colleague has sent or a client has sent. So keep that in mind. All right, A and B test your subject line. So send out a couple of tests where it's the same content but different subject lines. See which one works better, and that will help you determine. Okay, you get a larger open rate if you're talking about ice cream or if you're talking about cookies, whatever. Something that is going to build intrigue, is going to, if you're going to have more opens based on the subject, stick to that subject. So, Gregory, the CEO of our MSP, we were discussing a one of these coaches that I'm sure a lot of you are going to know who I'm talking about. His adverts, it's like a rerun of the last advert. It's like he recycles all his adverts. I mean, essentially, it's the same message every time. And Gregory, who's a big Oakland Raider fan, said, "Well, he's taking a page out of John Madden's book." And when John Madden would run an offense, and if he was successful on one play, he would run that same play until it failed. And some teams would not expect that same play, but he would run the same play until he failed. So I guess this gentleman is doing the same thing, running a John Madden play and going with it until it's run its course. So do your test pages, run a couple of subject lines, test them out, see what works best. Next is, should you include your company logo? And I'm going to say no again because of the image. This is an image. This is another image. Your logo is an image. So you should you? No, I don't think you should unless it's at the bottom with your signature. As long as it's not at the top. I'm okay with it being at the bottom because you got to have a brand. You're building a brand. If you want to include a small logo next to your name or next to your web address, that's fine. Go with it, but nothing on top, please. So, allowing recipients to subscribe to your newsletter is a great idea. You can do that one of two ways. You can include a link in the body, just as not part of the messaging, but something at the bottom that says, "Hey, subscribe to my newsletter." A link for them to sign up, and then you have a legitimate opt-in, and that will increase your score based on Gregory's explanation earlier in the call. All right, landing pages. So when do you include a landing page in an email? Well, if you're talking about, let's say you're talking about disaster recovery or security or backup, and you have a educational document for them to download. Well, you're going to want to point them to a landing page for them to enter their information so they can download this document. So always have a unique landing page for this if you're going to have uh, information you want to collect, because hey, this is valuable information you're producing. If this is a document that's going to educate the medical industry on what the new laws are on compliance or new technology to keep them compliant or training, and it's a document that they can download very easily, hey, build a landing page, allows them to enter their email address, first name, full name, company name, and be done with it. Don't be including 10 fields for them to fill out, because that is going you're going to get a lot of bounces. Next is always include a call to action in your emails. You want them to do something. When they read through your email, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to download a white paper, a blog? Do you want them to schedule a demo? Do you want them to schedule a meeting? Do you want them to call you? Have them contact, they can go, you send them to a contact us page. Always have a call to action in your email, in the body of your email, because if they don't know what to do, they're going to just delete your email, because that just shows how unprofessional you are. You're not prepared. So have a call to action in all your emails. And the most important one is the follow up. Because if you're going to be tracking metrics on your email opens and leads and things like that, you're going to want to follow up. You're going to want to track who opened them. If Tom requested a download for a disaster recovery policy, you better make sure to either call or send him an email and say, "Hey Tom, I saw that you downloaded our disaster recovery download. Can we help you out with anything in that area? Do you need a product? Are you looking to for some consultation?" So follow up is so critical to a successful email campaign, because you're going to have an opportunity to engage with the prospect and possibly begin a new partnership with a client you didn't have last month. So always remember the follow up. All right, guys. Greg, that's it. That's my those were the bullet points I wanted to discuss today. Did you want to touch on anything else?
No, that's good.
All right. All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening, and don't forget to sign up. We're about to launch the site, but you can still become a member at mspcorner.com. You can join us on Facebook at the MSP Corner, but please share our link with a CEO who, they'll find this information beneficial to their business. But and you can always email me at sales@mspcorner.com. Have a great night. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.